We've been married 42 years and dated for a year before we got married.
That's about correct. I'll go with that. I'm not going to contradict her this early in the tape.
We met at the Pier. It's a bar on...
It used to be a bar.
Yeah, on Lakeshore Boulevard. My sophomore year of college.
We met each other through mutual friends at a bar.
I was busy with school and being very social, so it wasn't instantaneous, at least for me. I don't know.
Well, it was more of a casual relationship when we first met, so it was over a period of a couple of years that we knew each other before we really started dating.
My first memorable outing with Mike was our first date. We went to dinner and then we went to this little nightclub. And there was a guy singing with the guitar, just kind of low-keyed music. And the first song, one of the first songs he sang was, if I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyhow and have my baby? And I mean, first date, and it's just kind of, are you kidding me? Because he's a carpenter.
And you're a lady.
Okay, I wasn't going to go there, but so it was quite a little embarrassing, but we got through it.
Memorable.
It was memorable, yes. Little did we know, 42 years later, here we are.
I'm going to say a canoe trip down the Autrain River.
Yeah, there's hidden
I'm
things
going with that, and that's it.
Do you want to go into detail on
No,
that?
that's a good one.
That's it?
That's it. Trying to figure it out, John.
John, yeah, we might have told him the story.
The thing that attracted me most to her was her. Everything.
Good answer. His kindness, sincerity, and probably the biggest thing is his sense of humor. And that's still today. Sense of humor is a big one. Other people just, you just want to laugh at somebody. I did anyway.
I think just the honesty that she had, being very truthful, and she was just a very, very good person. My favorite memory of being a couple together, I think, is our marriage and the birth of 3 wonderful young human beings.
They were all wanted, all loved, and they're great.
You're going to get a lot of the same answers. That's why we're together for so long.
You like the same things, and the same things are important, I guess. Well, the kids, them growing up to be the adults that they are. I don't know if it's a moment, it's a collection of their lives and where they're at right now. We're proud of them all. They're wonderful human beings, and what more could you ask for?
I don't think we've met our pinnacle moment yet. We're still climbing. I'll tell you my most quirk.
Yeah, go ahead.
My most quirk is that she knows everything before I do. So that's...
We do finish each other's thoughts and sentences. So he might start a sentence and explaining a whatever, and I know where he's going. Sometimes we don't even have to speak, and we're thinking the same thing. And that's probably just through all the years, but we do that.
I don't know, you knew it before we got married.
Oh, yeah. He came over to see me one day, and I said to my roommate, I think he might be, this might be the time he's going to ask me to marry him. And he did. So,
The thing was all planning. Yes, ma'am? Okay.
silly girl. What happened? You hit my toe. Oh no. Oh, careful. Raw. Oh, can you smell? Can you smell? Do they smell like anything, or are they just flowers?
They smell like flower nectar.
Flower nectar? Oh. Are you all done? Maybe Papa can put some on there and smell flowers. Whoa. There you go.
Where is the flower going?
All done? Bye-bye.
We have hugs and kisses. Yep. Oh my goodness. Oh my Oh my goodness gracious. How about your papa?
I get one too?
Oh.
Hi.
A little hug.
Oh, that's right. And a little kiss.
Thank you.
What's better than that? I mean, my God. My pregnancy with John was uneventful as far as I didn't have complications or anything, but he kind of came in his own time, on his own schedule, as he is now. I had one pregnancy test and it was negative, and then the next week it was positive, so there you go. You know, John's just kind of, he wasn't going to be positive the first time. And they thought he came a month early, but he was full term. So again, on his own time, you know, I'm ready and wonderful, healthy baby born. So that's the thing I think of and I smile about when I think of the pregnancy there. Him deciding to let us know when he's coming and deciding to let us know when he's going to be born.
I didn't have a pregnancy with John, so you're way out of luck with this question.
Again, on his own time. All three of my children were C-sections, so, but it was his determining when that would be, you know. It's scheduled and he's going, I'm not doing that. I'm coming a little early. Surprise.
As with all of our children, I guess rocking him before she had him. I was not in the delivery room, but I had him, seeing she had a C-section, I had him before that she got to see him, so it was pretty special.
Oh, spontaneous, funny. John's kind of a black and white kind of guy. There's advantages and disadvantages to that, which he'll attest to also, but adventurous, busy, active, and again, this sense of humor. He's from this guy here.
John was a very active child, into everything, wanted to be with everybody, but he could still play on his own, make up stories of his own, do commercials of his own. So he was a little bit of everything. So.
probably going down to the cabin every summer. I think that was one of their favorite times. We did go to Disney World, and they went with us to Boston. We did some things around the United States, but sometimes just in your own backyard is where the memories are. So I'd say the cabin, in my opinion, that was probably when we went there.
I think his favorite vacations, in my opinion, were at the cabin. We spent a lot of time there. He loved being on the surfboard, loved driving the pontoon with his grandfather. His grandfather used to let him drive the pontoon around, so he thought that was a pretty big deal for a young fellow. I guess you'd have to ask John what his favorite memory was, but I'm sure just being around his grandparents at the cottage was pretty special to him.
And we did the usual things, campfires at night, like you mentioned, surfboard skiing, tubing, just all those things. It was right on the lake, so it was fun for them. Three words to describe John in his teenage years. Social, active, sports. He loves sports. And I'll give you the third one.
Well, I got three of my own.
Oh, okay. Go on.
I think John's three words to describe him are outgoing, devilish, and very caring.
I'll agree with that.
Is that for specifically teenage years or just in general now from them?
I think he was that way back then, I think those kinds of things are either inside of you or they're not, and we recognize them at that time too. I would think culmination in his senior year. I think he played hockey. He a lot of some friends that he still has to this day from then, and being an end of an era of that part of his education.
My favorite time for John in high school was his graduation. 2 down, 1 to go. So he was, but he was a good student, a very good student, and so just graduating and moving on to his next chapter of life, I think, was my favorite.
John is most similar to, hands down, his dad.
I would say John is probably most similar to myself.
And what makes you think that?
John has a pretty quick wit. He really cares about what people do, and I think, I guess you'd have to answer this. I think he's just a really, really good kid, young man.
And he was back then. I mean, just as I mentioned before, those things were there. Favorite characteristics kind of go back to what we've talked about. I mean, he's a good person. He's honest. He's respectful. He's funny, I think, and he's kind. He's just a good human being, and that's, I think, all a parent can ask for.
My favorite characteristics of John, I think he's turned into a wonderful father. He's a very caring person, and so that's what comes across to me as it.
The most unique things about John is his thoughts on things. It's, as I mentioned, even a long time ago, he's black. He's a black and white guy. It's either this or this, and it's hard for him to mesh the two together. And sometimes that's an asset, and sometimes it's not. But I think that's what popped in my mind when this question came up.
All three of our children have unique aspects, and I think John is a little bit a perfectionist. He likes everything just so, and so that kind of makes him unique.
My first impression of Nikki was we met her at the cabin. Everyone decided to come to the cabin, and we stayed the week. So I just thought, would I be going somewhere and staying a week with people I didn't even know? So I thought she was confident, and then just meeting her, just a wonderful young lady. Fit into our family, liked doing things we like to do, like being at the cabin, a little rustic, so you just kind of made do with what was available, and she was very flexible with that, and the week was wonderful.
The first time I met Nikki, I guess I was the difference in the two of them. John's 6'4" and Nikki's 5-something, so it was quite a dramatic difference, but a very, very nice young woman.
They met on New Year's Eve at a bar. They were going around to different establishments on New Year's Eve and met that way.
And I don't know.
Going with that story.
I'm going with that story. I think I probably heard the story, but
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a little bit interesting because we met in a bar and they met in a bar.
the advice I would give to the two of them is always look at each other with love and respect.
If anyone asks me what is very important is love, respect, and a sense of humor. Being the father that he is. I don't think your children realize your job or their parents until they're a parent themselves, when they have their own children to love and to care for and be responsible for.
I agree.
I'll just use that clip for all the questions.
I agree.
And nothing separate impresses you about John?
Well, as I said, being a father and seeing him around his children, how nurturing he is and how he just, the amount of patience that he shows sometimes is really good to see.
A well-parented child. I don't know if you can describe it. If someone could put it in a bottle, we'd have a lot better world today. But it's just being taught respect and
Example.
right, being an example for your child. I think that's the biggest thing. They do what they see, and I think it starts with a parent. And I think I've always said it is half luck and half the grace of God that directs you as a parent and them as a child to make they get to a point in their life where they make their own decisions, no matter what their background is. And we've just been thankful that all of our kids have kind of chose the right fork in the road.
Lessons for kids growing up these days, I think it's just, I don't think it changes from these days to days gone past. Respect, and I think as a parent you try to teach them that every person is an individual and respect every person as an individual.
I think parents need to devote themselves to more family time. At the dinner table. I know that can't be every day, but most of them. And teaching, again, everyone's a human being, to respect everybody, people with differences, and to be kind. I hope they kind of smile and laugh, actually. I hope they think that we're fun. And they absolutely know we love them to death. We tell them that all the time, and hopefully by our actions. And that someday, after we're beyond this world, they'll just think of us fondly and smile, and maybe I remember this or I remember that, and love being here at our home and playing.
What would I like our grandchildren to remember? I think just that we love them. We think the world of them, and we would do anything for that.
Yeah, I agree with that also, 100%. We love them, we'll do anything for them, that we'll be here for them when they get older and they think they need to talk to somebody, or and just that we're here for them unconditionally.
Remember that Papa is not a fuddy-duddy, and that he will be around you.
Just as a lot of people, a lot of children do, you know, they grow up and their parents tell them things, or they can't do things, and you know, they're thinking in the back of their mind, oh my God, I'm not going to do that to my child when I have one, and they're doing it all. Because that's just the way it is. There's nothing greater than seeing your child as a parent, and seeing them repeat some things that you did, and maybe I'm sure, you know, there are some things they won't, but I don't think there's anything greater, and I don't think a child realizes what it's like until they have one of their own, and then it kind of comes together.
I think what I love about watching John become a parent is that he realized that a lot of the things that we were talking about were true, even though as a young adult he probably didn't feel they were relevant. But they come out in the long run that some of these things did make sense. So I think that's kind of interesting.
Wow, that they're here, that we have some, and they, right now at their ages, they all love us. I think we're wonderful. I'm sure as they get older that'll change a little bit, but we enjoy every moment when they're here or when we're there visiting them. Anything they want to do, you're totally committed to them, because they all four of them live away, but it's wonderful.
I think the greatest thing with the grandchildren is that with the new technology of Skyping and everything, we can be close to all of them. Our two in California, and then John's two, and that they want to Skype with us. I think that's they're not running and doing something else and want to be out of the way. They want to be around even when you're not with them. Personally, I don't think any actor, leader, or anything else. I think maybe they ought to look inward to their faith and get motivation from that. I don't. Somebody else has to live their own life, so I wouldn't take a lot of solace with an actor or somebody like that just is doing that for a profession.
I mean, they have to have an example when they're younger, and hopefully that's what's behind them when they make their decisions. I have an answer to that one pretty quickly. It is like having a child of your own, but you do not have the full responsibility. I mean, we've taken care of them without their parents around. Yes, you have full responsibility, but it's so nice to spoil them. Maybe once in a while let them do something their parents don't let them do, or have something their parents won't let them have. Sometimes it's a little secret, and then they get to go to, you've had them for however many days or hours, and then they get to go to their parents, and they can straighten that up, you know. It's nothing terrible, but it's just a wonderful feeling to have them and just to love them and just hand over the rest of that responsibility to somebody else.
I think the greatest part of being a grandparent is having some little person come up and put their arms around your neck and say, I love you.
well, considering the two of them just being themselves and passing on who they are to their children, we can see that already. Just to continue that.
And I think the best thing they can do to be a good parent is just to live the life they are living by giving the children a good example of what they're doing. And I think, as we've said before, I think the children learn so much from an example that if you put in good, you get out good.
Technology is getting a little too out of hand, for the good and for the bad. But that will be part of their world, so it's kind of hard to decide. I guess that just show them that there's times to use it and there's times not. I think we do, our whole world, everybody needs a little kindness.
Future generations, I think one of the things that you have to do is you have to read more. You have to look into things. Don't take everything for gospel. Just because somebody has a difference of opinion doesn't make them a bad person. That you can have a difference of opinion and still be friends. Just look out for one another and be kind to each other. I guess one thing I would like to add is that we have 3 great children, 4, soon to be 5 grandchildren, a legacy that I think we're doing pretty good with.
I hope so, yes, I agree. And all our children count on each other, call each other, depend on each other, and know they all love each other. Even though as brothers and sisters will do, they have their things with each other. But in a pinch and in happy things, it's all shared.
So I guess bars aren't so bad.
Bars?
Yeah, meeting in a bar isn't so bad.
Oh no, definitely not. No.
Do you want that one in the video? Is that okay in there?
Yes.
It's good with me.